All right, another warm welcome to everyone to today's session with NetX. So it's 1 minute past 10, and I think we can start. Mr. Granzer, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Perfect.
So,
Then let's get into it. All right. So let's start off with the agenda. Um, so today this is gonna be a webinar featured Elsner and NETxAutomation. So firstly, we're gonna have a quick introduction about today's speakers. That is gonna be me and Mr. Wolfgang Granzer. And we're going to do a very, very brief introduction of Elsner Elektronik because I feel like everyone is knows us already since we invited for the webinar. Next up, we're going to have the introduction of NetX as a company and what their solution is capable of. Afterwards, we're going to focus a little bit more on the KNX integration with different protocols as mentioned in the title already. And lastly, we're going to have a quick overview, a very brief overview over the things that the NetX software can do. All right, a couple words about myself. My name is Bastian Elsner. I'm the CEO of Elsner Electronics since mid of this year. And Elsner Ed Academy was sort of my idea to sort of have a platform where we can share knowledge about building automation in general. And I'm very excited for today's session because usually it's just us that is holding the webinars. But today we're partnering with NetX. And yes, today with me is Mr. Wolfgang Granzer.
yeah, also welcome from my side. Thanks a lot for being able to hold this webinar together with Elsner today. Yeah, I'm Wolfgang Kranzer. I'm the product manager of NETxAutomation. I'm also responsible for the research activities in our company and also for product training and presentations. Normally, Stefan Baumgartner would attend the meeting, the webinar today, but he is on illness vacation, so I will do the job today for him. I hope it's okay. And if you have any questions afterwards, you can always contact us via email, or we can also make another session today. Okay, thanks a lot, and I think we can start with the webinar.
Yes. All right. As mentioned, we can skip the Elsner introduction, but firstly, we want to mention so the purchase of the NetX software is possible via Elsner. So if you're interested, if you have a project on hand where you need everything out of one hand, so one contractual partner, this is possible via Elsner. So you can purchase the NetX solution via us. The technical support, the regional technical support, and the consultation for the projects you can get from NetX directly. So we are not the experts with this software, but NetX can help you with that. It is especially powerful to combine our two companies in that sense that we have the hardware, but we don't have the software. We are offering several protocols like Modbus, KNX. Soon we're going to have our first BACnet device. And for the entire project scope, there is much more needed than only the hardware, and that is where NetX comes into play. They have everything for the guest room management system, the BMS, and the visualization. And I especially like their multi protocol approach because this is what you need to have for the project, but more to that over the course of the webinar. I especially like the NetX solution because you can use it for smaller projects, medium sized projects, and very big projects, meaning the solution is very scalable.
Okay, yeah, thanks a lot for the introduction. So I will take over now. Yeah, first of all, I would like to introduce our company, which is NETxAutomation. NETxAutomation is an Austrian company uh, founded in 2001 by Mr. Paul Furtak. He is the CEO of our company. He started with the first OPC server for KNX solutions, but now we have switched to a more powerful BMS platform that I would like to show you today. Yeah, what our company does is we are a pure software company. So this means we are developing software for building management solutions. So this means we are not producing any hardware. So we are just a company that are producing software, developing the software, and selling the software then to the electrical engineers and the integrator. So this means that we are not doing the projects by ourselves. Our customers are typical the electrical planners, the electrical techniques, and the system integrators. Yeah, what's the idea for our software? We'll see it afterwards. We are focusing on the management level of building automation systems. So this means we have a BMS platform. It's a software solution for Windows systems. And with the software, you can realize management applications like visualizations, energy reporting, automatic shading systems, or other lighting control systems. Yeah, as Mr. Elsner already told you, in principle, our software is very scalable. So you can use it in smart homes, in smaller homes, up to medium and enterprise projects. But you will see afterwards, we are focusing on medium and large projects because of our scalability and our reliability of the software. We are mainly focused on medium and enterprise size projects. So this means you can use the project with a few hundred of data points, but also in large project you have thousands or even 100,000 of data points. Yeah, we are operating worldwide. We are an Austrian company, but we are operating worldwide. Of course, we are very focused on Europe, but also we have lots of projects in Middle East, South America, and also in Africa. Currently, we have about 6,000 of active license in the worldwide, and we have about 40 partners that are international sales partners or R&D partners. Yeah, very important for us is open standards and open protocols. So this means that we are focusing on solutions, on technologies which are providing open interfaces. Of course, one of the most important protocol for technology for us is KNX. So we were starting with KNX. As I told you, Mr. Furtag developed an OPC server for KNX. But you will see afterwards in a project there are multiple different protocols and technologies. And so this means that we can also use other protocols. And you will see afterwards we also have interfaces to OPC, to BACnet, to Modbus, but many, many more technologies and interfaces. Yeah, also very important for us as a company is that we are active members of different foundations like the OPC Foundation, KNX Association, BACnet International, where we're also participating in the developing of the standards and the specifications. Also important is that it's also part of my work in the company that we are participating in research projects. So we have different national and international research projects where we are cooperating with universities like the TU Vienna or also the University in Dresden. That's very important for us because using this way we get new knowledge and we can also integrate new research activities into our products. And so we are always on the bleeding edge of the technology here. Okay, before I will show you the product, I would like to give you a motivation that you know why we are developing our software this way. Here in this slide, you can see a typical automation system, a building automation systems. And as you know, the functions are spread across three levels. On the field level, we have the different sensors and actuators. So this means these are the devices which are interacting with the building services. Like we have some sensors like presence detectors, smart meters, other sensors or actuators like a binary actuator to switch on and off a light, but also other actuators like making a HVAC control, so controlling the heating, ventilation, air conditioning system. On the automation level, you can see there are different controls and embedded systems which doing the control functionality. And on top, there is the management level. And here you can see we have a central component which is called building management systems. And this is the place where our software is located. So our main focus is on this level here. So this means here we can provide different functions or different applications like visualization, like training server, like alarm management, we'll see it afterwards, or even remote access. What is now very challenging on this level is that you can see it here on the bottom here of the slide. Of course, we have lots of projects where we have KNX installations, but as you know, there are other protocols and technologies that are used in building automation systems. So there's not only a single system, there's much of the time a heterogeneous combination of different technologies. For example, here we have BACnet. BACnet is a very important protocol for HVAC systems, so for heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems. You may also know Modbus. Modbus is more coming from the industrial automation domain, but it's also used here in building automation. And for example, smart meters are using this protocol for providing interface to the energy consumption, for instance, or also PV stations, PV inverters are using sometimes Modbus to communicate with them. You may know MQTT. MQTT is a protocol from the IoT, from the Internet of Things. So it's a very popular protocol where you can interact with other IT services in the internet. And you see many, many more. DALI, for instance. I think most of you know DALI for lighting systems, a very important protocol. The challenge now is when you're doing now an integration here on the management level. So if you would like to integrate a BMS system, a building management system, you have to deal with all these protocols and technologies because you don't want to have a single system for each technology. The idea is to have an all-in-one solution. So this means you are installing one single BMS solution, and this BMS solution can interact with KNX, with BACnet, with Modbus, and with all other protocols here. But this can be very challenging for an integrator because, as you may know, each technology has its own way to represent data and to access the data. For instance, in KNX, we have group addresses, which are data points in the KNX systems. You can make a group write, you can make a group read. In BACnet, it's completely different. In BACnet, we have BACnet objects and properties, and these can be subscribed or make some read requests to them. So the services and the data point of view is completely different. And this can be very challenging. And therefore, this is the motivation for our software. We would like to make this task more easier for you. So this means we are providing a single all-in-one solution for building management systems. And this single all-in-one solution can integrate all these protocols in one single system and makes the task more easier for you to make applications like visualization, like alarm management, like a scheduling server, or like a training server. So this is the main idea of our product here. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Yeah, here you can see in this slide, this is the main product that we have. It's the NETx BMS platform. What is the NETx BMS platform? It's a Windows software which is running on any Windows PC. So this means we are not selling any hardware. You can use any Windows PC for your BMS platform. Of course, the size of the PC depends on the project. So if you have a small project, like let's say a few hundred or a few thousand of data points, you can use small embedded boxes with a Windows system on it. Of course, if you have larger projects with 10,000 or even 100,000 of data points, you need a server system. But in principle, you can use any Windows PC or in any Windows server system for installing our software. We are recommending, of course, the new Windows software, so let's say Windows 11 or Windows 2022, but in principle, it doesn't matter which uh, operating system you're using. Also, from the hardware point of view, you even don't need a physical hardware. You can use a virtual environment. So if you have a project where there's already some IT infrastructure, you can use a virtual environment, for example, a virtual machine like VMware, like Hyper-V, or like Citrix. You can just install the software there. Important for us is that there's a Windows operating system on it. All other things are not that critical. Yeah, so this is the main concept. So we are a Windows software, so you can run it on Windows PC. And here you can see now the different applications and functions that we are providing here. Yeah? So as you can see here, one of the most important thing is the gateway functionality. What does this mean? We will see it in the next slide. We have lots of interfaces, so we can integrate KNX, BACnet, Modbus, Fidelio, Opera, many other application-specific protocols in our software. And then you can exchange the functionality and the data between these different systems. So for instance, if you have a KNX single room control, in your building, and you would like to forward some data like the set points to the BACnet HVAC systems, you can use our software for that. So you can make a gateway. You can just forward information from KNX to BACnet and also in other ways. So it's a bidirectional data transfer. Also very important is, for instance, we have also application-specific interfaces like hotel management. As you may know, there are some protocols like Fidelio Opera, like Wingard, which are hotel management systems. What does these or do these management system provide? They provide information like check-in, check-out, or like the room status. So a very important and simple use case is, for instance, if the hotel guest is checking in the hotel, we get a signal from, let's say, from Fidelio, from the hotel management systems, that there is a check-in for a specific room. And then, for example, we can turn on the climate control via KNX in this room or via BACnet. The other way around, if the room is not used anymore, if there's a checkout and the room is not occupied anymore, we can change the climate control via KNX to the standby mode. So you see, it's a very simple use case, but with the simple use case, you can save energy because you can turn off the climate control if it's not used in the room. So you can see this is very simple, but you can only do that with a central building management system solution because KNX doesn't know anything about hotel management, and also the hotel management doesn't know anything about KNX. Only if you're at the management level and you have a software which can which knows both worlds, you can combine the information and you can make here such enhanced applications. Yeah, but as you can see, our software is not just a single gateway. It's more than a gateway. We also have here, for example, a scheduler. A scheduler means that you can define time programs. You may know it from other software. You can have a calendar. In this calendar, you can define timers, start-stop events. You can just make some data punches based on time events. Or here also very important, alarm management. Alarm management is a very important BMS, a building management system function, which means that you're monitoring the system, the building automation system, if there is an abnormal behavior. So if there are some data point values out of the expected range, you can trigger some actions like make a notification to facility management, or you can, for instance, change some data points to bring the system in a fail-safe state, for instance. Of course, where also a very important application or function is visualization. So we see it afterwards. I will also show you a practical example of our software. We have a PC-based and a web-based visualization. It's completely the same from the function point of view. And is a very important use case. So you can provide a user interface to the user of our software, to the facility management, or to any other users in the building. And then the users can monitor the current state of the building automation systems, or even can control it via some control elements like buttons or other control elements here. Yeah, also a very important area is trending, reporting, and metering. What does this mean? Trending means that you can also store the historical values in our SQL database. And based on this SQL database, you can make an analysis of data with charts elements or with tables. So a typical use case would be a metering application. So you integrate smart meters via KNX, via BACnet, via Modbus, or whatever you have. Then you store the consumption values of these smart meters in our SQL database. And then you can use our web manager, we see it afterwards, to make some chart elements, to make analysis of the energy consumption of the past month or the past year. And even with our reporting tool here, you can generate then reports. So this means you can generate PDF or Excel tables in a periodical interval. And you can see in these Excel tables, for example, the energy consumption of your building. Also very nice is, you will see it afterwards, that these reports are not fixed. Yeah? We have some prepared reports for you, but you can also use our report designer to change the look and feel of the reports to your own needs, or to change it to the look and feel that the end customer, the building owner, wants to have here. Yeah, also here on the top, important is here the logic engine, which means we have a script engine in our server, which is based on Lua scripts. This means you can also add control functionality on the management level. So if you're missing some control functionality on the field level or automation level, you can also make it in our software here. And if you don't want to make scripting, so if you don't want or if you have no knowledge in scripting languages like Lua, you can also use our graphical programming language, which is called XLogic. It's a functional block programming language, which can be used where you can use functional blocks to define your control logic. Yeah, and last but not least, here on the right-hand side here, you can see our LAMPS module. What is the LAMPS module? It's a module dedicated to KNX DALI integration. So as you may know, there are lots of different DALI gateways on the market, and these DALI gateways have each of them have this own way to represent data to make, for example, function tests or tests for single battery driven emergency lights, for instance. And to make this task more easier for you, we also have a module here which makes the integration easier. And in combination with the reporting tool here, you can, for example, generate reports of function tests in the DALI system here. So also a very important feature here. Okay, so let's go to the next slide here. So just a second, I have to skip the marker here. Yeah, on this slide you can see that the different protocols that we are providing, the interfaces here. Of course, very important are the open standards like KNX, like BACnet, Modbus. Also OPC is also a very important protocol in the building management level. We have also SNMP to integrate IT infrastructure hardware. We have MQTT interface. Then we have special application-specific interfaces for hotel management like Videlia, Opera, Info, Protel. We have, of course, also the possibility to integrate other web services. So if you have some web service in your system, like weather forecast or something like that, you can also integrate them. And via hardware gateways, you can also integrate things like DALI in the Notion, because very important is our software is Windows-based, so we are using the IP network to interface to the different devices. So this means if there are some protocols like DALI which have no native IP interface, you have to use a gateway like a KNX DALI gateway to integrate them. Yeah, this list is still not complete because we are always extending our software. We have here it's called a universal XIO interface. So this means we can add new drivers, interfaces, modules to our server without touching the server core. So we are always releasing new drivers, new modules also on request. So this means if you have some special requirements in your projects where you don't have a standard interface like here, you can just contact us, because then we can also add the interface on request. Or if you have experience with software development, you can also do it on your own, because we have an open API for our software. So this means you can also make your own interfaces if you have knowledge about software development. Yeah, and on the top you can see also we are not only open to the field level, so we can integrate from the field level, but we can also forward information to other management clients. So this means if you have other BMS systems in your project, like an HVAC, BACnet BMS systems, you can forward the data from our software also to other BACnet clients. This is very important because our BMS platform is also a certified BACnet server. We have the BTL certificate, so we are an official certified BACnet server and also BACnet client. So this means we can also forward information to other BACnet solutions if it's required in the project. Also to OPC, so we have also interface to OPC DA. This is the classical old OPC interface, but also the new OPC UA interface is also available in our software. Yeah, and also, of course, I have mentioned it before, we also open to other IoT protocols like MQTT or the web service interfaces. You can just integrate them in our software as you like. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Here you can see the second main product that we have. So the BMS platform is let's say, the main product, and a variant of it is the multi-protocol server, or short MP server. What's the difference here? You can see here the interfaces are exactly the same. So the interface that we have in the BMS platform, we also have in the MP server. You can also forward the information to other BMS solutions like BACnet or OPC clients. But what's missing here are all the BMS functions. So the multi-protocol server cannot provide a visualization. It cannot provide alarm management, scheduling, trending. The LAMPS module is not available. So the BMS functions are missing, but all other things are existing here. What's the idea behind? So if you have a project where you don't need a BMS solution, but you just want to have a gateway to other protocols or to other BMS solutions, then you can use the multi-protocol server because it's much cheaper than the BMS platform. And so this means it's a smaller variant of the multi-protocol server. You can even upgrade it. So this means if you are starting with the multi-protocol server in your project and you see, okay, there's still a requirement to make a visualization, you can just buy an upgrade or to the BMS platform. You can also use the same installation because the configuration of the field level protocols are exactly the same in our solution here. Okay, so yeah, as next, I would like to show you how we can integrate KNX in our solution. I have some slides prepared for that, but I think it's more easier or it's better to show you a practical example. So for that, I will switch now to a virtual to a physical machine in our office where I have the BMS platform installed. The slides will be shared after the webinar, so you can still take a look at the slides afterwards because they are shared via email. But I think it's better to show you a practical example now. So for that, I will switch here to this installation here. It's a small Windows embedded box. It's a Windows 11 box. It's an Intel NUC installation, so really a small Windows box here. And on this box, I have already installed the BMS platform. So the BMS platform, as I told, is a Windows software. It's running in background. It's a Windows service, so you don't need to log into your Windows system. You just turn on the box and the BMS is already running in the background because it's a Windows service. And now I would like to show you how we can integrate a KNX project. For that, I will open now the ETS. Because the nice thing is in KNX that we have the ETS. This means it doesn't matter which project that you have or which device you're using, you always have the ETS, and this means the full configuration data is stored in the ETS project. And this is also very important for us because in order to interact with KNX devices, we need to know the things about KNX. We need to know the group addresses. We need to know the data point types, the DPTs in KNX. We need to know the IP interfaces because, as I told you before, our main interface to the field level is the IP network. So we need an IP connection. And in case of KNX, we're using KNX and IP tunneling or routing. You can use both, but we suggest in general to use the tunneling protocol because if you have a larger project where you have multiple different KNX lines, and if you have for each line a KNX and IP router or interface, we can connect to it via tunneling, and then we can communicate in parallel. So we're not limited to the router or to the routing backbone, so we can communicate directly to the lines, and therefore this is a very scalable solution to realize a large project where you may have hundreds or even more of KNX and IP routers here. Yeah, in principle, I told you before, we are not limited to any application scenario. You can use it in any solution here, in any project. So starting with smart home projects up to middle or enterprise projects. So the use case is not defined to the application domain. You can use, for example, our software in office buildings. You can use it in hotels, airports, or commercial buildings, or residential buildings, or even in smart homes. But I told you we are mainly focusing on the medium and enterprise market because all these BMS functions, these are things that you normally need in commercial buildings or in larger buildings. In the example that I have here is a hotel example here. So let's assume we have a hotel and this hotel has two floors. You can see it here in DTS. I have two main lines for floor 1 and floor 2, and each floor has 10 rooms, and in each room we have uh, 4 devices. First of all, we have our KNX IP router here, which provides the connection to the IP network. Then we have a room controller. It's a room controller which measures the temperature and which is doing the control of the heating and cooling system. Then we have a lighting actuator which is controlling the dimming light, and then we have a blind actuator for controlling the blinds in this room here. And this we have for all 10 rooms. And the nice thing is now the first 2 rooms I have it really in our demo case. So when you take a look here, this is an IP camera to our office. You can see it's a small demo case that I'm always using for presentations, also for trainings. And here we can see these are the 2 lines here, the KNX 5.1 and 5.2 here with the 2 room controllers. These are the devices that we have really here, and so we can use them here. Okay, how can you get now the information? For that, we have here an app. So when you go to myknx.org, you know there are some, different apps, plugins for the ETS, and one of it is called NETxBMS App Secure. It's developed by our company. It's for free, so it doesn't cost anything. It's just freely downloadable. So if you have an ETS license, just log in to myknx.org and you can order and install the NETxBMS App Secure. And this app is now used to transfer the project from the ETS in our BMS solution. First of all, you can see it's a very simple interface. I have to select the product that I have. I have here the NETX BMS platform. Then I can select what I would like to export. I can also export the topology, the building view, and all these things. So the simplest way is just select all. Then I press here export. Now our app is searching for the information that we need. So it's extracting the group addresses, it's extracting the data point types, and also very important, the IP addresses of our routers here. Yeah, the result is you get here an NXE file. It's a package which holds all the configuration data that we need. I store it here on the desktop, and then I'm switching to our Core Studio. The Core Studio is the management application to configure the data points in the field level. I've already opened it here. You can see this is the Core Studio here. And here we have the different menus for the different interfaces here. And here you can see in KNX, we have here an import wizard. And this import wizard is used to, import the export file here. So you can see here, I can select here my export file here that I've just exported from DTS. Then I can select replace or update. What does this mean? For a new project, like now, I take here replace. But if you are changing something afterwards in DTS, you have to re-import it. And for that, you can just select here update, which means that the new data is imported in our BMS solution, but the existing data is not deleted, it's not overwritten, it's just updated here. Okay, I press here start. Now the import is finished, and now I press here the start button, which means that the BMS platform server, the core server, is now starting. And then we will see that it's immediately connecting to our KNX system, and then we can already control our KNX installation here. So let's wait for the full startup here. And then you can see here, we have here the so-called item tree. What is the item tree? This is the data point view. So these are all the data points that you have in our systems organized in a tree structure. It's called item tree because a data point is called item. It's coming from the OPC technologies in OPC, and data point is called an item, and we're also taking these terms here. Yeah, and these items here are organized in a tree, and you can see under XIO, I have here KNX. And here you can see there is a branch for each of the different IP routers here. And the first one is the room 101. You can see here there's a data point which is called gateway. It's at the moment true, which means it's already connected. So we have now the connection to the IP router. It's working. And then we see here the group addresses here. Okay. So, and for instance, here you can already see here, this is the temperature 24.6. It's exactly the same that we see here on the display here. So we already received the value here. We can also make a read request, for example, if you would like to know the set point here. I just make a read request and I see, okay, the current set point is 21. Or I can also even control the light here, just sending here a 1 to the on-off group address. You can see the light is going on. We also have here the brightness value here. And in our webcam, we can already see that the light is going on here. And of course, I can turn it off again. Okay, so as you have seen, if you have the ETS project, very simple, just we can export, import it in our system, and then we have the installation here. Yeah, as next, I would like to show you our visualization. So this is the visualization editor, which is used to create and define visualizations. I will make here a new project here, a new workspace. I just call it here training. And then you will see I get here an empty visualization page. We also have user management included, so you can define different users with different access rights. Very important, of course, in the sense of security. And now you can see I have here an empty page. So this means our visualization is freely designable. So for instance, I can take here an image here. Then I've prepared here a floor plan. It's an SVG graphic, so a vector graphic. It was exported from AutoCAD. So you can see I can place it here on, on my page as background. We also have the concept of layers similar to AutoCAD. We can define different layers. And then we have, for instance, such analog instruments where we can show, for example, the current consumption ratio of smart meters, or in our library, we have lots of different buttons. For instance, I will take here just as an example here, a light button, and I can place it here. Then I can open the configuration dialog, and here I can select the data points that I would like to manage or to control. So for instance, I will take here the on-off lighting, and the second data point is the status, so that we can also change the data point here or the state of the button. And now I can go here to the online mode. So now the visualization is online, and I can also control here the data point here. So as you can see, just with clicking here on and off, the light is going on and off. Yeah, this is now the PC visualization. As I told you before, we have both kinds of visualization, PC-based and web-based. How can we do now the web-based visualization? I just make here a transfer to the server. So now the project is copied to the web server, and then I will open our so-called web manager. The web manager is a web interface which is used to manage the BMS function. As you can see here, when you log in, now we have all the different modules here for our BMS functions, like alarm management, like scheduling. The metering module can be accessed here. We also have a GRMS, a guest room management system module here. We have the reporting module here. And also here we have now the visualization management. So this means I have now transferred the project here. As you can see, it's called here training. And now I can assign the project to a visualization device. Then I will make here a deploy, and now I can open the visualization here. Now I can see it's the web interface. Again, I log in here with my username and password, and then we have the visualization here as web interface. You can also see here it's fully resizable automatically, so depending on the size of the device, you can see now here in the background here how the light is controlled via the installation here. Yeah, this was the visualization part. As you can see here in our web manager, we have lots of different other applications and functions like the scheduler. As I told you before, the scheduler can be used to define time-based events in the calendar view, or also a very important use case is the alarm management. You can see you can define different alarms. Then you have a new list where you can see the current active alarms in the list. Also, the alarm state changes are stored in the escalator base. So in the history, you can also find here the state changes here. Reporting, as I told you, also very important. You also have here a report designer where you can also define your own reports, and you can also make your own look and feel for your reports. So for instance, here I can open here an existing report. For example, is the alarm report. And in this report designer, you can, for example, change the logo of the report. This is used to generate PDF reports or Excel tables like that. Yeah, as you can see, there are lots of functions, of course, in this webinar. In this short amount of time, I cannot show you all the functions, but what I can recommend to you is to take a look at our website, because on our website we have lots of help for you. So when you take a look here in our support section, we have here the so-called knowledge base. The knowledge base is an online knowledge base where you can find different articles, tutorials, and step-by-step guidelines. For instance, here when you take a look here at the multi-protocol gateway, you can take a look here on BACnet. There is a tutorial which is showing how you can define a BACnet mapping to other BACnet clients. Also for KNX, you can see there are lots of articles here which helps you to get in touch with our software and which helps you to realize your first projects. And also what I can recommend to you is to take a look at our training center here. We are also doing regular webinars. So my colleague is doing here webinars, which shows you how our software is working. But you can also take a look here always on the last videos. So the videos are recorded and you can also take a look at them and you can learn the software. Also very important is you can download our software in demo modus. So if you would like to make some tests, you can just go to our website, download the software, and then you can use it for 30 days for free in demo mode. It's the full functionality, so you can use all the interfaces, you can use all the modules and protocols. It's for testing. But of course, if you would like to make some more tests, just contact us because we can also issue a time limited license for you to make some tests for free. So we are just open for any feedback from your side. So if you would like to make some tests, just contact us and we can help you. Okay, so I think it's 10:40, so I'm perfect in time. Yeah, as I told you, it was a very short overview. So um, we have much more things to show. So if you need some information or just contact us. We can help you. Also, my colleague Stefan Baumgartner is not here today, but he's from the sales part. If you have questions, just contact him or contact me, and we can help you. So yeah, I think this was the end of my presentation today. Are there any questions today? So if you have some questions, just ask them in the Q&A section of the GoToMeeting. Okay, no questions. Maybe they come when you're starting your first project. So just contact us, and of course we can help you. Okay, thanks a lot.
Perfect. Mr. Granzer, thank you very much for the interesting presentation today. And I only have to mention that we recorded this webinar, so you will get the recording in a couple days' time. We will send it to your email. And you can always rewatch it on our website. So similarly to NETx, we have all the webinar recordings on our Elsner Academy section on the website. And we will also share the slides of today's presentation in the PDF format to all attendants of today. So yes, if there's no more questions, we wish you an awesome day ahead and a good rest of the week. And until next time.
Okay, also from my side, thanks a lot, and thank you, Mr. Elsner, for providing us the opportunity to make this webinar together with you. So also from my side, have a nice day and hope to see you soon in some projects. Bye.
Bye, everyone.